Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to be doing the final update, or part 4, to the very popular video I covered earlier in the year titled, Man Ends Shortest Marriage in History After Catching Wife and Bro in a Threesomething. And guys, that story, let me tell you, I believe on the first video I said this will probably be one of the most popular videos of the year. I could just tell. And as it turned out, it certainly was up there. And as a recap, because it's been a couple months since I did part 3, or the final update, that's all about the guy who is engaged to this gal who he truly thought was amazing. No problems, no BS, no red flags, nothing. With her for a few years, even lived with her, and got engaged and was ready to marry her. He went through the whole wedding, and that night, because he went to bed early because he had a lot to drink, woke up middle of the night, she was gone. And as you all recall, eventually he found her. And where did he find her? In bed with his older brother. And another chick to throw in there too. And this older brother, by the way, was his idol. This guy was like his absolute hero growing up. They were always together, great thing going. But his brother was a ladies' man. Unfortunately, he had to choose his lady as well. And it was a big scene, and the whole thing. And after the whole big blow up, and the parents came in there and all that, he took off, ended the marriage with her, ended the relationship with him, had nothing to do with his family for a very, very long time. And also, if you all recall, his parents, particularly his mother, was on his butt trying to let the matter go. That, oh, you know, she's really giving the older brother a pass. Very suspicious. Fast forward to where the story really took off in present day. Finds out his brother is dying. Brother was on the deathbed and wanted to see him one last time to say how sorry he was and all. This guy's like not having it because he had nothing to do with his family at this point. They were dead to him, all of them. Eventually, the brother dies, goes to the wedding, goes to the funeral, sees them, and guess what? Turns out the brother has a young daughter, and the family wants him to be in her life, all that, and he was very puzzled what to do. And I said to him, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. It's not your job to raise her as an uncle or anything like that, and it's not your job to get back with your family after all this because they chose the brother over him, all that. But I'd recommend he certainly be able to find forgiveness for him. That way he's not walking around with anger and hatred. Part 2 is about him meeting up with the family and the girl, and she was a really good kid. And it turned out, you know, the brother and his ex got together and all that, had her and everything, and she had no idea about him. He met her, really liked her, all that. But then he started finding out more details about his brother and his ex, that they had a thing going for a while. And the parents kept it quiet and everything. And then it even got worse in part 3 of the story, where he found out they were together for years before they got married. They were secretly hooking up for 3 years when he was with her. Right? Talk about a piece of shit that his older brother was. And his older brother was a ladies' man. A total Chad. And his mother and mom and dad found out about that, and the mother kept it secret. Right? And then when the dad found out, he insisted that it get out and all that. He insisted they tell him, and you all saw what happened there. So now we are on to part 4. And as if you didn't think this guy's life was hard enough already. Oh no. It's more bullshit. I mean, it's like, what did this guy do in a past life to deserve all this shit, if you believe in that sort of thing, because it's crazy. And there's more stuff about his father, his mom, all that. And by the way, I recommend at the end of part 3, this guy does everything he can to get his life together. If he wants to rebuild a relationship with his dad, which I think he was, because he could see that his dad, you know, was obviously a lot better than the mother. His mother, God, a mess. And decide if he wants to have a relationship with the niece, you know. It's his choice, but he really liked her. Seemed like she was a good kid, not poisoned by her mother or the dad or anything like that. And now we are at part 4, and wait to see what happens now. So it continues. He says here, hello SSM. I never expected to send another email, but over the last couple months, my life has gone to a new level, insane, and even though I'm trying to work through everything for years to come, I figured I might help out some guys in your community. Where I previously had trust issues after everything that happened, I think I've lost most of my faith in humanity, and I'm now just waiting for the meteor to hit the reset button. Dude, after everything you've been through, I don't blame you in the least. Not in the least. If I remember correctly, my last update revealed that my ex and my brother had been cheating behind my back for years, and my mom was aware of it from almost the beginning. It was my dad that discovered just how long the three of them had been playing me for a complete idiot, and he was on the fence about filing for divorce from my mom. You all recall, guys, his mom is a piece of something. After that day, I had him talking to my dad several times, and I shared your videos with him, so he could see everything from my perspective. He was ashamed that he and my mom made me feel like this, that I was second best to my brother, and he was swearing that he had no idea they treated me any different. Who knows? There's always the more favorite kid growing up. I don't care what anybody says, the parents say what they say, there's always the more favorite kid. My sister was the clear favorite growing up. But interestingly, when we became adults, then I became the favorite. Go figure. And yeah, it sucked. It was bullshit. Absolute bullshit. But you know what? Taught me a lot. And there's a lot of you guys out there that definitely know what I'm talking about here. Love my sister, love my parents, but you know, now I was a handful growing up, but there were other things there. Anyway, he says, I guess that's possible. When I think about it, it was mostly my mom that gave Dan the preferential treatment. I guess he went back home and he talked to my mom for a few more times, but it was something that you said in one of your videos that got under his skin. Well, if I had $1 for every time I heard that one. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you either implied or suggested that because of the difference in my treatment, that you wondered if we had the same fathers. I'm not the only one that was thinking that. I guess he looked at a bunch of the comments that were saying the same thing, and he couldn't get it out of his head. He told me there were a few times that my mom was acting a bit off, but he never suspected her of cheating on him. It was about a week after that he watched the videos that he decided to try and find out. One of your posters said that he could do a DNA test of my niece to find out if Dan was his son. He came over a few weeks after his last visit and told me what he was thinking and asked if I would be willing to do a DNA test as well. I'm sure you guys at this point can see where this is going. It didn't really matter to me one way or another, so I agreed. He got a couple of those home DNA tests that they sell at CVS, and I gave him a cheek swab for mine. I guess he told Amanda that he was working on a present for a family tree, and she gave him one as well. Amanda is his father's granddaughter, or this dude's telling the story's niece. The brother and his wicked witch ex, his daughter. That was all about a month and a half ago, and I'll get back to the results in a minute. I said in my last update that I had a movie date planned with Amanda, and we ended up going to a show that she wanted to see, and then to dinner. We had a great time, and she was a lot of fun to talk to. She's still sad about everything that is going on in her life, but we did talk about my childhood with Dan a lot more, and she was telling me that her mom and Dan never got into an official relationship, but Becca always wanted him to marry her so they could be a real family. So the brother was a Chad to the end, even though he had a kid with this girl, and he was banging this poor guy, Jesus. But the older brother's banging his girl all those years when they were together, and he thought she was the perfect one. He still never got together with her, but they had a daughter. My brother was never the guy that was settled down, so it wasn't really a surprise that he never went beyond sleeping together. It was a good night, and when I dropped Amanda off at her mom's house that evening, Becca was waiting for her on the porch. When I pulled up, she came out to the car to see if I would talk to her, and I just shook my head and told her I knew she was cheating with Dan for 3.5 years, and she was dead to me, before I pulled out and went back home. Nice job, bro. I hope the daughter didn't hear that. I think it's very cool you're hanging out with your niece, because you sure as hell don't have to. You know, and a lot of guys told you, and even I told in the beginning, like, look, you know, it's your choice, it's your life, you know. But you said yourself, she seems like a good kid. It's not her fault that she has asshole parents and all that. And so I'm glad you're getting to know her and glad you're having a good time with her. And hopefully you can help her not turning into your older brother or your ex. My dad told me that Becca's dad had gotten back to him after my dad told him what my mom had done, keeping their secret. And when he questioned his wife, she was swearing she had no idea. From what I remember about Becca and her mom, when they were together, they told each other everything. So I don't know if I believe that her mom wasn't aware. It doesn't really matter now, but it's still hard to accept that these people that I loved and trusted could do this to me and still smile at my face. Brother, you're not alone. There are countless guys out there that this type of bullshit has happened to. Whether in their own family, the nuclear family growing up, or a gal they're with, or you know what I mean. They're all pieces of shit. Since our movie night, Amanda has been calling me a few times a week to talk about life and how to process everything. She really is a sweet kid and completely disgusted by what her mom and brother did to me. Good. That's really good to hear. She said that Dan made sure that she had all the things that she needed, but he was never really there for her as a father. Shocker. That's why Chad and Tyrone, the bad boys, are not marriage material, become daddies. His solution to parenting was just throwing money at the prom, and it was something that Amanda said that gave me a bit of a chuckle. She told me that Dan and me were so different, it's hard to believe we were raised by the same people, which brings me to about 2 weeks ago. Again, you guys can probably see where this is going. My dad came over at nearly 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night, and it looked like he'd been crying. After letting him in, he told me some information that is going to have me back in counseling for a long time. He got the online results of the DNA tests. When he checked the one with Amanda, he didn't really understand what he was looking at, but Amanda is not related to him at all. How could that be? As soon as he told me that, my first thought was that Becca had been cheating on me with someone other than my brother, but the family resemblance with Amanda was uncanny. She has my mother's eyes, and there are facial features that are unmistakable. It was when he showed me the results of my test with him that my world came crashing down all over again. He is not my biological father. Good Lord. Like I said, your mother's a piece of something. I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry for you and your dad. I know biologically he's not your dad, but he was the guy that raised you and all that, and I know you consider him a father, but good freaking Lord. Now this is starting to add up, huh? How your brother got the special treatment from your mom, amongst many other things. As soon as he told me that, I think that was the first time in my life that I saw my dad even cry. I'm not sure if I was more shocked at the news or seeing this man in tears. For all my life, he is the most manly man I've ever known. I can remember when I was a kid, I was riding my skateboard and busted my ass and scraped my knees. Instead of picking me up to see if I was okay, he told me that men don't cry. Rub a little dirt on it and try again. I'm sure that I was in shock and still hadn't completely figured out what I was looking at. I don't know how long we were sitting on my couch trying to work out everything he said, but when he got his emotions under control, he told me something that no matter what I decide to do is going to change my life forever. He asked if I had anything to drink, and between the Jack Daniels and trying to process everything he showed me, he handed me his phone, and he had the complete results of the DNA test, and there was a, wait for it, 99.9998 chance that Amanda was my daughter. Isn't that interesting? All in one sitting, you find out your dad is not your real dad, that your mom is a cheating W-H-O-R-E, and I think I can call her that at this point, and that the girl that you thought was your niece, or your brother was paying child support to and taking care of, in fact, is your daughter. This is like a freaking movie. I asked him how that was possible since they told me that before she got a pregnancy test. He told me that they all took it on her word for the result, but had never seen anything in writing. I have no idea if my brother was aware or not. I think my mind was blank, but I do remember spending some time in the bathroom throwing up. Dude, I'd be throwing up and doing a lot of other things. The rest of the evening, we polished off the bottle of Jack Daniels and spent a lot of time talking about everything. Both of us have some issues. For my dad, there is no way to find out if Dan was his real son, and it was breaking his heart. For me, I thought long and hard, and I've sifted my options down to 3 potentials. Now here we go. Number 1, tell Amanda the complete truth right now. Number 2, wait another year and a half until she's 18 and then tell her. And number 3, never tell her and continue to play the uncle. I've already talked with an attorney to see what my options are, and I'm fairly certain that option 1 is off the table. I can reveal everything, but my lawyer said even if I was unaware, Becca could sue me for past child support for the last 16 years. Dude, listen to your lawyer, and I guarantee that snake in the grass ex of yours would do it, even though your brother was paying for her. I don't think I could live with myself if I picked option 3, so I'll probably wait until she's an adult and talk to her then, along with getting both of us some counseling. I agree with that. I have a few questions that I just can't figure out and was hoping that you or someone in the community could help me make peace with this. Why would someone do this? It wasn't bad enough that she cheated on me with my brother, but she stole my child from me for nearly an entire childhood. Did my mom know? I have no idea, but knowing what I do know now, I wouldn't put it past her. Even if she liked my brother more than me, what would be the justification for robbing me of the chance to be a dad? I don't get it. Bro, these two women, your ex and your mom, are selfish fucking assholes. So don't even try to figure it out. You, my man, are a good man. And you wouldn't stoop so low. That is why you can't understand why they would do this, or anybody would do that for that matter. And yeah, I mean, this was your daughter all along. You got the proof right there from your dad's thing. You know, who knows? And I think I'm going to try to figure it out myself. I can have some ideas, but at the end of the day, they're just selfish assholes, you know. But here's the thing. As screwed up as this is your daughter. And from what you've told me in the stories, she seems like a really good kid. Which, given that she's a teenager and a teenage girl in 2023, and given how they all are, that's amazing. And given who her mother is. So, you got something, my man. You got a daughter. And frankly, you didn't have to go through the diapers and babies and that type of bullshit. But she's your daughter. And a good kid. And maybe that's the reason she's a good kid, because she's you, not your brother. And, well, I'll come back to that at the end. It says here, I talked to my best friend, who's also holding on to all my weapons for the time being so I don't go do something stupid, and he watched the videos as well. The only thing he could come up with was that maybe Becca was trying to baby trap my brother. I just don't know. Probably, but your brother was a Chad, and Chads don't get baby trapped. They'll throw money. They ain't going to throw a commitment. My dad filed for divorce last Tuesday. But we both agreed to keep everything from the DNA test between the two of us until we can figure out what to do. So, what'd your mom say? When I'm divorcing you. I want to know, why? As for my dad, yes, he's the man that raised me. He's the man that sacrificed for me. No, he's not perfect, and he's been a good dad for most of my life. The last 16 years has put a damper on our relationship, but we'll get through this. He did ask me if I was going to try and find out who my biological father was, but I really don't care. But more precisely, I think I don't want to know. I know the man I've called dad for my entire life, and that isn't going to change. Well, good for you, man. I know the last 16 years you didn't talk to your dad because of all the bullshit that happened on your wedding night and how they took the side of your brother, or more like your mother took the side and your dad just went along with it. If I recall. If I'm wrong, my apologies. But he's been wrong too, big time. You guys have a lot more in common than you originally realized. And that can bring you closer together. But he was there for you, he raised you and took care of you and helped you with everything. So, if anybody deserves a second chance, it's your old man. And now you have this great girl, it's your daughter. Because it's been proven she's your daughter. As for Amanda goes, I'll continue to play a part in her life, and after she's an adult, we can have a discussion and figure out where life is going to take us. At this point, I'm afraid of what I'll do to Becca if she tries to justify any of this, and have decided to take a zero contact with her for any reason approach. Smart idea. She's not my problem and hasn't been for a very long time. She's an evil bee that cheated on me with my brother and stole my child from me. She is, and life will pay her back. This last part, I almost didn't include I didn't include in my update. But I'm not a perfect person, and I make mistakes just like everyone else. If I can't own my own flaws, I can never grow to be a better man than I am. I visited my brother's grave last night with a six-pack and spent a few hours talking to my brother or myself, depending on how you see those things. I'm not going to go into detail of what I talked about, but I got out 16 years of my anger, frustration, disappointment, and sense of loss. Dude, I don't blame you. Now, I'm not sure if not talking to my brother when I had the chance was the right thing to do, but like so many other things in life, sometimes there are no do-overs. I wonder if we would have had a relationship, and I'm sad that I'll never know. Bro, after everything your brother did to you, you don't have to feel bad. It's your business, of course, but I'm probably a terrible person, but I did water his grave and the flowers with recycled beer before going home. Well, if it was the night, you could have watered his grave and waters with some other fluid, and nobody would blame you. So that's where my life has ended up. I lost a wife to my brother, my child to my wife and brother, a biological connection to my dad who will continue to be my dad. How any of this is punishable in criminal law is beyond my understanding. For now, I think I'm going to spend a while trying to put my life back together, and I can't help but think that I would have known any of this if I hadn't gone to my brother's funeral. Is living in ignorance better than the cold hard truth is? I have no idea. But like you said in many of your videos, once you open Pandora's box, you cannot close it. You can't, man. Thank you and your community for all your advice and well wishes. Maybe I'll take you up on a suggestion and start playing the lottery. Bro, if there's anybody that deserves to win the lottery, is you. So whenever the lottery gets big, have your numbers, buy a ticket. It'll cost you $1 or $2. Big deal. Normally, I call that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not for gambling. You know, put your money in something that's going to grow in value over time, not throwing away on gambling. But an occasional lottery ticket, no big deal. But you deserve to hit the jackpot after everything you've been through. So holy fucking shit, dude. This is crazy. You know, but you know what? You're stronger than you realize because went through 16 years on your own. And you're still here. And you know what? I know it's crazy, but you have a daughter now. And she's almost 18. Like I said, I know your ex and brother robbed you of that, and that's terrible on so many fronts. But at least you got through. You didn't have to do the diapers and all that stuff. But she's a great kid. And it's amazing that even though you weren't there for her, she's got that great kid. That's you. That's you and her. And so I think it's a smart idea. Wait till she's 18, and at that point, then you can choose your moment to talk to her. And until that time, you're the cool uncle she can talk to and all that. End of freaking story, you know? And then I really hope the second stage of your life when she's 18 and you can tell her. And from what you told me, it seems like she's a pretty bright kid and will not be that heartbroken. And probably, actually, I mean, she's going to be screwed up, don't get me wrong, but knowing that it's you and all that will make it a million times easier. And I wish the best. You deserve a good future. And as for you and your old man, take it one day at a time rebuilding things because he's like you. He got royally screwed over too. You know how it feels. So you can be there for him and you, your old man, and your daughter, when she knows it's your daughter, can really rebuild and have a good life all together as a family. It's crazy, but you know what? There's a lot of craziness out there. In the meantime, I know you're a religious guy. You have your pastor. I know you showed him my videos. I thought that was interesting. And if he's a good man and he's someone that helps you out, I would keep talking to him and trust in your faith, whatever that may be, and keep working on yourself and building a great life. And as for your mom, well, she'd be dead to me after all this, even though she gave birth to you. And nobody can blame you there. So I wish you all the best. So down the road, let me know how you're doing here. I'm going to start changing this to part 4 and 5 and skipping the final update and final updates. And I'm having no room in the title and the picture to put all that stuff in. So old joke about the final updates here. So bro, I wish you the best. So guys in the community, please type away, give me your suggestions, but definitely, bro, listen to your lawyer. And as tempting as it may be, don't reveal it until she's 18, because, yeah, that snake of an ex will probably come after you for anything she can get out of it. But you know what? Something's going to happen to her one day. I guarantee it. I don't know what or when, but it will. That's how things work out. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let this guy know what you think. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.